In 2012, Carly Zakin and Danielle Weisberg founded The Skim from their couch. Now, 6 years later, their morning newsletter gives over 7 million subscribers the news and information they need to start their day. And when they first started the company, they got a lot of advice from other female entrepreneurs. And now they're sharing those conversations and more on their podcast, Skimmed from the Couch, SKIMM' from the couch. Every week, you'll hear from women like Ariana Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post and Thrive, on why she puts her phone to bed at night, or Melanie Whalen, CEO of SoulCycle, on why she has a millennial mentor, or how actor Taraji P. Henson got over her first rejection and learned how to negotiate for herself. It's a podcast about the real stuff, tips and tricks to launch, grow, or change your career. The only rule on the couch, no BS. And check out Skimmed from the Couch wherever you listen to your podcasts.
9.
T-minus 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff.
Hello and welcome back to the Space News Podcast. My name is Will, and I want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting this podcast. The easiest way to support the podcast is just to listen to it. You can also go to our website at spacenewspodcast.com to find our social channels, which are Space News Pod at Space News Pod. And also there's Discord. And also you can make donations. You can do a monthly donation of $5 or more to the podcast, and that's going to really help out. Also, what really helps out is getting star ratings on iTunes. That's a huge, huge deal. So if you can take the time out, it takes about 30 seconds. Give us a rating, and I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about something cool. We always talk about something cool on this podcast, but here let's talk about something that's going to be pretty cool for the future too. SpaceX just raised a bunch of money. They're in the midst of a funding round that has already pulled Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket company past a $30 billion evaluation. Now, this money that's coming in, it has positioned SpaceX as one of the highest valued private startups in the world. And that's according to several different firms that track these kind of things. On Thursday, SpaceX disclosed its latest funding round in a financial filing. And SpaceX, the company, has sold $273 million worth of shares to 8 investors. And that accounts for just about half of the shares it put up the last sale of last month in a $500 million funding round. So they're making money here. They're raising a bunch of capital for the future. Now, if SpaceX sells all of these shares, the company will be worth $30.5 billion with a B dollars. And the new valuation and funding round were reported by the Wall Street Journal. And it's not clear when the company's deadline is to sell the remaining shares. So we're not sure when they're going to push forward all these shares, but we know that it's going to be worth $30.5 billion. Sohail Prasad, which is the founder and president of Equidate, financial firm company, told CNN Business that SpaceX has always historically sold the full amount of their round, and there's no reason to believe they don't have a number of investors lined up to finish this one out. So Airbnb and SpaceX are neck and neck to be number 2 as the most valued private companies in the United States of America. And the highest, that's Uber, which had a huge IPO in 2019, which is valued at $72 billion. So SpaceX would be about a little bit less than half of that if it sells off all of its shares. And since SpaceX is a private company, they don't have to tell you which people buy their shares, right? But the Wall Street Journal did some digging, and they reported last month that backers include existing SpaceX investors and Baillie Gifford & Co., which is a UK-based firm that is a major shareholder of Musk's electronic car company, Tesla. So people that are involved with Tesla believe in Elon Musk. So they get shares of SpaceX as well. And SpaceX, it used to be valued at $21 billion in 2018. following its Series 1 funding round, which raised $350 million by selling shares at $169 a piece. But it's different now. The shares are a little bit more expensive because there's some new things on the horizon. They want to spend more money. So it's 10% more expensive at $186 per share. And SpaceX has also taken in a little bit of debt last year with $250 million in a loan, according to the Wall Street Journal. So SpaceX is making a bunch of money. They're raising a bunch of capital. This is going to be used for things like the BFR, the big rocket that they're building. Also for Starship, probably acquiring new talent, things like that. More materials. They need more materials to build more things. So that's going to be in the future for SpaceX. Now, a cool thing that happened recently, which is yesterday, SpaceX raised the Falcon 9 with the crew capsule on top of it, which is a historic moment because they're getting ready to launch humans from United States to the space station once again. And let me tell you what, this thing looks amazing. There's a transport area at the top, the little tunnel that the astronauts would go through. It looks more modern than the old NASA ones. Looks more in line with futuristic space travel. It's pretty cool looking. And you can find it on our website at spacenewspodcast.com. So this has just been a quick update about what's going on with SpaceX, what's happening in the future. And this launch is going to be happening somewhat soon. So we'll see what happens with this Crew Dragon and what happens on the Falcon 9 rocket. And this is happening, like this year, not next year, not the year after that. You don't have to wait that long. So it's going to be happening very soon. And I'll be here to tell you all about it. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's been listening to this podcast. The best way to support the podcast is to just listen to it. That's it. Just listen to it. And that's all you need to do. And also, you could go to our website, spacenewspodcast.com. You can also check us out on iTunes, Google Play. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on Spotify, everywhere that you can find your podcasts. So until next time, my fellow space cadets, this has been the Space News. My name is Will, and we've been directly beaming this down to you from the mothership. And I will see you soon.
We have ignition and liftoff.